Hi, everyone. Just as a fair warning before the video starts, I have no script for this and I have no idea how long it's going to be. So if there's any instances of me saying and a lot or stuttering over myself or repeating something I already said, I apologize. But I really want to make this video for several reasons. Most important reason is probably to announce that I consider this my official reviewing retirement. I will not be making reviews on this site anymore, and there's a few reasons for that. It's something that I thought about for a while, and it's something I've been feeling for a while. Like a few of my watchers have, like, I've talked about this with some of my watchers, but ever since I want to say like September or October of 2019, I've focused more of my life in like other directions. I I want to focus more on my job that I have right now, and because obviously that's very important to me. And when I do still watch shows and movies and play video games in my spare time, but when I want to watch those at my own pace, and I don't want to have like the pressure of like having to write about it afterwards, constantly looming over me. And like I won't say that like in my time on this side I ever felt like pressured or anything, because I did enjoy like making reviews and making satires and stuff when I did. Like I never like, there were some that I think are better than others, and some that maybe I kind of half-assed in some regards. But like for a majority of my time on this site, I've really enjoyed putting out all the reviews I did. I think most of them turned out really well. There's some that didn't, but again, that just kind of comes with the territory of reviewing. One of the biggest reasons for me deciding to make this video, especially now, is because on Wednesday, it's slightly past midnight on Sunday now, but on Wednesday, DeviantArt's going to be changing, or basically forcing all of its users to change to Eclipse mode, which pretty much seems universally hated. And I've been told it's either going to make journals really hard to write or just straight up impossible. So that's kind of a big roadblock too. And one of the other reasons that I've kind of noticed and talked about with some of my watchers over time is that the community, as in the community, like I think we consider ourselves like an animation community. The animation community on this side, I feel, has been kind of slowing down since like mid 2018, which that's not necessarily a bad thing, and it's not anyone's fault. And like, there's certainly good things coming from it too. Like, there hasn't been much drama since then. Like, I remember throughout all of 2017 and like early 2018, there was like a drama every other week, it seemed. It was just a total mess. But yeah, ever since like mid 2018, I would say, there hasn't been like there are people that still talk in the community, obviously, and like people read reviews and stuff, but it's nowhere near at the level it was like when I first started around here. So like, it's kind of like making like it reduces the motivation for wanting to make reviews when you know that like almost no one's going to read them anymore. So yeah, those are pretty much the primary reasons why I decided to throw in the towel at this point. It's, again, nothing you guys did wrong. I came to this decision on my own. I thought about it for a while, and I was like, yeah, going forward, I think that this is the best decision for me. But I will also take this opportunity to say that I really enjoyed my time here. I had way much larger of a following than I ever thought I had. I think I ended up at around like a little over 150 watchers, which is just I never could have predicted that when I started. And I started in like, yeah, I'm looking at it right here. My first journal was on October 18th, 2016, which like almost 4 years ago. That is just absolutely insane to me. But yeah, I've made so many friends in this community that I never thought I would. I was able to like hone my reviewing skills as a critic. I just realized I'm saying like in this video so many times. Please bear with me on that. But yeah, I was able to hone my reviewing skills, and I'm grateful for that because I think the internet, especially since 2016, has kind of evolved their critical tastes and the way they critique things. As in, well, I mean, pretty much everyone these days, and this was also helped by the whole change the channel movement, the angry critic shtick. That's kind of outdated concept that no one really likes anymore. I don't think I ever really fell into that, aside from like maybe my Emoji Movie review. But like comparing a lot of my earlier reviews to more of my like later 2019 stuff, there is definitely a lot of changes there, and I think changes for the better. And I do, well, again, I enjoyed writing those reviews, and I enjoyed writing those satires especially. So I am grateful for the site for that. And it's interesting like how I joined this, I ended up kind of joining this community because like my first journal was on October 18th, 2016, but I believe I created this account in February of that year because I sometimes hung around on Mr. Ender's page back when people respected him, and I saw there were people like talking about like their favorite shows and movies and like their favorite animations in general, and I was like, and I clicked on some of those accounts and they had reviews on them, and I was like, I've like tried something like that before, and like, I've written a lot in high school. I could probably do something like that. And yeah, it just took me like half a year to finally write a journal about it. But yeah, that's kind of just how it all started. That's like that same Mr. Enter page that I would not recommend going to now, but that's where I met a lot of the people that I consider my closest friends in this community. It's so weird for me to think about, and it's even weirder that it was 4 years ago at this point. It's insane to me. I guess at this point, I decided to give. I wanted to do something a little special for this video, so like I'm really sorry that I'm just at a loss for words right now, but it's slightly after midnight here, in case you couldn't tell. I wanted to go through my satires for a little bit, not like read them or anything because I don't feel that's necessary, but like go through more of like the history of them and like what inspired this one, or what was the thought process behind this one, stuff like that. And maybe even a few of my other journals too. Not so much my movie reviews, like those are fine, but they're pretty much all just my thoughts on the movie, and that's not really interesting. So I'm just gonna, I have a window over here, so I'm just gonna, I also like how my first review was of the season 7 premiere of The Walking Dead. I literally never talked about the show again, like after that on this site, like in a journal. I probably talked about it like in a status or two, but yeah, that's literally my only Walking Dead review, and it's my first one. That is hilarious to me. Okay, so yeah, scrolling through the first few, these are basically all just movie reviews. It's like a Q&A. Okay, here we go. Shut up, computer. Okay, so January 27th, 2017 is when the first satire was written. Now, You may remember back then there was a certain user that hung around on Enter's page called Patrick Veteran, please, and he was an annoying piece of shit. And a lot of people complained about him because he was just like he had bad grammar. I remember he had a lot of general statements about cartoons and really just nonsensical ones at that. And like I felt someone needed to take him down a peg, and I don't think my satire did that, but I I just wanted to do something to stick it to him, and I I just like the first satire was just a straight up parody of him, and I thought it turned out really well for the time, and it got me a few watchers. I think it did, so that was kind of fun, and I named it just a satire because I thought that like maybe if it did well, I could make a series out of it, which I ended up doing, obviously. The second one, Secret of the Ooze, that one came out in April, so that was basically 3 months later. I thought I did that sooner for some reason. Yeah, I named them after shitty movie sequels because I'm funny, I guess. But that one, that was the one that was based on like a conversation I had with a real life friend of mine, or a hypothetical one, I should say. I like how that one turned out. That was more like roasting of Pat Vet, and like it's kind of simple compared to the later ones, but yeah, no, I don't mind that one. That one's fine. I'm just going through these other journals from like I had so many journals throughout 2017. Holy shit! Like, okay, we got Daredevil. I did a cover of Generic Song by the Nostalgia Critic. Holy shit! Why did I do that? I have a few song parodies, like lyrics. I just wrote down the lyrics. I didn't sing them because, good God. Popular opinions. Okay, Satire 3, Season of the Witch. That one was not about Pat Vet. That was about a certain other user, Big Bunny, who I'm sure you haven't heard that name in a while, but yeah, that was another piece of shit user on here who constantly used a bunch of sock puppet accounts, and had just an unprecedented amount of hatred for Frozen and My Little Pony. I like, and it's weird because in my earliest days on the site, I remember him being like somewhat of a respectable reviewer, and I even saw some comments of his where he was genuinely like constructive in his criticisms of movies and of even other users. Excuse me. But yeah, I don't know what changed, but he just fucking fell off the rails. It was so weird. And he and Pat Vet just kind of faded away after a while, but throughout a lot of 2017 and 2018, they were just rampant. They were popping up accounts left and right. It was annoying. So like by the time yeah, I guess the end of April came around, I was like, okay, maybe I can make one of these about him. And I think that one, I think the only gimmick of that one was like that his username kept changing in it. And like I predicted that he would come back under a certain name or something. Like that one, that's probably one of the weaker satires. It's nowhere near as bad as Satire 4, which might as well peel off the Band-Aid now. I hate that satire. That was a terrible satire. That one was about Regulus, which not as bad as Pat Vet or Big Bunny, but that's just a user that he still mystifies me to this day. He has an obsession with Mr. Enter, even though he hates him, and he's into some very questionable things that I'm not even going to get into right now because, in case you don't know, I'd rather just preserve your innocence. And yeah, and like at that time, like there were people that had issues with Regulus, and so I knew a satire like that would be a bit of a risk, at like starting drama or something, and especially I'm pretty sure I announced I was going to do a satire on him, and someone told him in his comments section, and he was like, "Who's doing this? I demand to know right now." And it was like, what? Oh, I was. Keep in mind, like I was a reviewer for like 6 months at this point, so I was like, "Oh my god, this person might just like kill me or something." But no, I just did the satire. He actually responded very well to it, honestly. He even pinned it to his page for a while as like a reminder of him to get better, which never happened because he's still just as sad as ever. But yeah, I was way too easy on him. Well, it was partial. I don't know. It's not funny. That's the problem with the journal. It's not funny. It's like there's no joke, and again, in hindsight, I was probably way too easy on him. Thankfully, the next satire is Good Day to Die Hard, which I remember liking that one, but I forget what it was about. I need to click on it. Okay. Okay, this is the one where Big Bunny goes on like a rampage in a grocery store. I do like how this one turned out. It's kind of simple, but it's just like it gets the job done of showing like, okay, Big Bunny hates MLP and he hates Frozen to a ridiculous degree, and also like there's a few weird things in this one, like at the start, like okay, it starts off with these two coworkers at a grocery store or something, and he's like, they're talking about movies they want to see, and I said that The Mummy and Dark Tower look pretty good, which, I mean, obviously those both turned out shit, but you know, it's funny seeing that early 2017 me who thought that those movies would be good. It's funny seeing that show up as like a bit of a time capsule. And then at the end, he sees like a theater is playing Frozen 2. It's 2 years. Oh my god, it's 2 years later, and Frozen 2 did come out like 2 years after the satire came out. So that did predict the future. That is so weird. But yeah, no, I like the satire a lot more now. Yeah, so that was a good one. I liked that one. It's just, again, Big Bunny needed a roasting at the time, and yeah, he. I think that did a good job of giving him what he needed. It didn't like change his opinion on anything. It didn't make him less of an asshole, but I think the community like appreciated that at least. Satire 6, don't have much to say about that one. That was mostly just, again, that was going back to Pat Vet. That was just like a scenario where like he had a girlfriend that found out he was what he was doing on DeviantArt, like using all these sock puppet accounts and being just a dick in general. Yeah, that one again, it's fine, but it's just kind of mundane. Now, Satire 7 that came out in mid-June, I like for a while that was my favorite satire. I'd say it's probably like my second best. And the funny thing is, like I thought of the idea for it and I wrote it in the same day, June 14th, 2017. Yeah. It basically, like, the plot of this one is that it's basically Inception. Like, Big Bunny wakes up in bed and like Elsa and Anna are there. Then he wakes up and the main six are there. Then he wakes up and, like, you know, it keeps repeating. But, you know, it's yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I liked writing for Anna, Elsa, Olaf, the main six. I like the twist of like his mom at the end. That I like that. That was a funny part, and then the twist at the end with Pinkie Pie turning into Pinkamena, like that. Like I don't know how I thought of all this in a day. I'm not meaning this to like stroke myself off or something, but I I'm really proud of how this one turned out. Yeah, like I think the reason it went down down a slot for me is because like after a while it gets kind of predictable, but I still really like this one. I think that is a good journal. Now after that, look, less than a week after that, holy shit. But yeah, less than a week after that, we have the eighth satire, which is actually a three-parter. The Family Feud satire, which like it was basically a combination of all the shady things about Pat Vet and all the shady things about Big Bunny. Just everyone in the community took part in it, and like because for this one I asked people ahead of time, like, okay, my eighth satire is gonna like it's gonna have like you guys, the people in the community, as participants in it. I'm not gonna say for what, but you're gonna be a part of it, and a lot of people were really excited to be in it, and it was a fun one to write. I remember writing that one and just having fun. I love Family Feud, so I was happy to just again it was kind of it encompassed everything that was like everyone, I should say, that was like a dick in the community at the time. And yeah, it did take a while. Well, the first two parts came out within 4 days of each other, and the third part came out like a month later. But yeah, no, that was a fun journal. I enjoyed that one. And then there was like the ending of that one where Steve Harvey beats me up or something. That was fun. Then there was the trying to see what else is around here. There was Satire 9, which was the it's like I have a flash forward one with Big Bunny, like it's like set in the 2070s or something, where like he's like still complaining about MLP and Frozen long after they've lost relevance. Yeah, that was another fun one. I think that's probably one of the better ones. I remember nothing about Satire 10 at all. Okay, yeah, this is the one where like Big Bunny, it's like giving his perspective on the world. Like the bold text is how he perceives the world, and the non-bold text is like reality. And he just interprets everything in the worst way possible. Like that one, it's okay, I guess. Let's see. Then you have the where's the 11th satire? Oh yeah, the 11th satire, which around the 10th satire, I just started naming them after episodes of shows because I guess I ran out of movie sequels at that point, because I wanted each satire to have a subtitle that like corresponded to like the same number of movie sequel. It's hard for me to explain. Like the 8th satire, for example, was named Jason Takes Manhattan, which was also the 8th Friday the 13th movie. But there's not many movie series that go up to 10 movies, so I was like, just fuck it. Name it after episodes of shows. Doesn't matter if they're good or not. But Satire 11, that was that also kind of that involved a few members of the community as well. I didn't ask. I didn't like say like, oh, if you want to participate in this, just let me know. I just it was more of like a aesthetic thing at this point where like the community put Pat Vet on a jury, and like all of a sudden there was like a bunch of Pat Vets that were claiming to be the real one that stormed the room, and they went to jail at the end or something. It was again, that one was all right. Like, I feel like at that point, because I think at the end of that satire, or no, I think I might be thinking of something else. Yeah, no, overall that one's all right. The 12th satire, which came out on Halloween, that one was a fun one. It was a Halloween themed satire too, where just like the kids just chuck eggs at Big Bunny. At that point, like, just they had gone off the rails. The satires, they were just about whatever at this point. I mean, obviously they were still about like Big Bunny and Pat Fed, but it was like bringing more of the real world stuff into it, I guess. Let's see. After that, yeah, there's. Oh yeah, I had a small series of like shows that I binged around Christmas. I thought that I thought there would be a lot more to that series in coming years. Like, I thought that would be a yearly thing I would do, but no, that didn't end up happening. But oh well, it was fun while it lasted. I also did a dramatic reading of Pat Fett's thoughts on me. Yeah, I think on one of the satires, or it might have even just been a status of mine, he like just left this really stupid, really childish comment that it was like a paragraph long, and I couldn't help but like want to read it, and just in the most serious voice. It was that was that was funny. Let's see. Okay, and then 13th satire, which came out on April Fool's Day of 2018. That's probably, I would say, my favorite satire now. I feel that put a solid end to the series. Again, it's basically a Christmas Carol with Big Bunny. He gets visited by the ghost of Christmas, or I don't even know if it's what I even called them in that. What I called them in that pest me. I didn't call him anything. It was like the past version was just his past self. The present ghost was, I mean, Pinkie Pie, because I decided to just steal that from NLP, I guess. And I like that the future one, like, you don't see them at first, but then it turns out to be Elsa, and she like kicks him into hell or something, and then he just wakes up in hell. That I really like how that ended, and I thought that was a good way to put a cap on the satires. After that, it's just like so many movie reviews, and like there's a few like one-off journals. Like, I did one where I defended Bohemian Rhapsody because that movie was like just hated from every corner of the internet. And I did like a quick binge thing on Black Mirror. That's a good show. You should watch it if you haven't. Yeah, a journal on Green Book. I did I did a journal where I parodied like Bring Back National Dex, because again, that was just summer of 2019. That was fucking everywhere. Like, everyone's like, Sword and Shield are the worst games ever because Game Freak isn't letting us bring our Pokemon into the game. And this was June 12th. This was like I think this might have been like actually within a day of the first announcement, but like it was already so prevalent. Like, Bring Back National Dex, it was already so prevalent. I was like, okay, this is going to be really big and really annoying, and I have to like address this in some way, because I am a Pokemon fan. I actually have Pokemon Sword over there, but yeah, that was a fun one. I think even Regulus commented on that one too, but he deleted it. He deleted his comment because, he supports Bring Back National Dex, And I don't know, I guess maybe he thought maybe he didn't want that comment to be seen or something. I don't know. But yeah, the latest binge journals were on MLP season 7 and 8. And obviously the one you're reading right now, or you're most likely have read now, is the one on season 9. And yeah, no, that pretty much leads us to present day. And yeah, I don't know what much else there is to say at this point. I guess one thing I should clarify, or I guess not really clarify, but let you know in case you don't, is that I do have a Twitter handle where I'm far more active these days, and I do still sometimes like give things, movies or games or shows, like I'll give like my brief thoughts on them, or like maybe 10 words or less from time to time. But if you want to follow me there, it's at Mike is a human, and yeah, I'm far more active there, and I enjoy it. Well, I mean, I do enjoy DeviantArt, but Twitter, I enjoy that because like more people are active there, and I can talk to more people there. I guess the thing I'm probably most grateful for my for creating this account for is, if I hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't have been able to meet my girlfriend, Power Loud Girl, Lexi, because I had seen her commenting on Enter's page. Again, this is way back in 2016. This is back when she was called Anti-Adult Party Cartoon, which, holy shit, that feels like it was a while ago. Just every time I think about how long ago that was, it's insane to me. Yeah, no, just like in mid 2017, we really started to like, we were just talking more and more to each other, and like by September, I was like, I just, I'm getting all I'm getting all stumbled up now, but yeah, I just was like, hey, do you want to like make this a thing? Do you think we could make this a thing? And like we have, it's like still ongoing, almost 3 years now. It's just, she's been an amazing girlfriend for me, and she's just so kind and caring and sweet and funny, and I love talking to her every day. And it's like, I honestly couldn't ask for a better girlfriend if I tried. I'm so grateful for her. I'm so like, it's one of the reasons I'm like, I will never regret joining this community at all. I've had so much fun. I've learned a lot about, like, again, how to, well, ways to properly critique media without, like, falling into bad criticism tropes. And I've learned a lot about like the history regarding certain aspects of media, whether it's video games, shows, or movies. And yeah, it's just been. I mean, it's cliche to say it's like the whole thing's been a learning experience, but it really has. I think that like anything you invest over 3 years of your life into is going to be a learning experience in one way or another. And like my time as a critic online, even though it's over now, I learned a lot from it, and I'm grateful for that. And I made a lot of friends through that, and I'm grateful for that too. Like, even though I'm not going to be reviewing anymore, I'm still going to be keeping in contact with them, like whether it's on Twitter or still like through comments on DeviantArt. Like, if you have a comment for me, like, please, by all means, like, I'd love to hear it, and I'll respond to it as soon as I can. Sorry, I'm getting kind of slouched. But yeah, I don't think I have that much else to say. Uh, yeah, no, again, I am gonna miss writing reviews and satires to an extent, but right now I'm just grateful to have to be able to experience media without having to write about it afterwards. And I don't disrespect critics at all that like or people that make a living out of doing this or even just as a hobby, which is pretty much what I did it as. Like if you enjoy it, then please like do it to your heart's content. I like if you have fun and you want to experience as much media as possible, go ahead. Like, and I do want to experience a lot of media. That's also partially why I want to stop reviewing because I feel that if I keep reviewing, I'm just going to be like slowing myself down and limiting the amount of media I can see when like half the time is going to be devoted to watching the media I consume. And then the other half is going to be about like, reviewing it. Again, I have nothing but respect to the people that can manage their time better than I can right now. But yeah, no, I guess that's pretty much it. I don't have too much else to add, but just thank you all. Like, especially if you made it this far into the video, which has just been, I'm sure, complete and utter cringe at this point. But if you've made it this far, like, thank you so much. But also thank you, like, however long you've been following me and my reviews on this site. I can't be more grateful for that because like just knowing that someone was out there reading my reviews and or reading my satires and like either saying that like they enjoyed it or even giving me feedback in an attempt to help me get better, which it did. It very much did. Every bit of advice I was given, every step of the way, I took it to heart and I tried to use it to improve as much as possible. And I like honestly like especially anytime someone's like, oh, that gave me a good laugh or like that really improved my day, I'm like that shit just like again it's cliche but it like that just makes your day. Like seriously, I love stuff like that and it was one of my favorite parts of reviewing, that's for sure. But I am I am glad that I'll be putting it behind me for now. Even though, again, I enjoyed the experience, but for now, I think that that part of my life is going to be behind me, and it's going to stay behind me for probably the rest of my life, unless I decide to change that at some point. But I change my mind at some point, but I doubt that's going to happen. But if you want to keep in touch with me, again, my Twitter handle is @MikeIsAHuman. And yeah, no, I don't have that much else to say. So again, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting me throughout all the years. And whatever you do in your life, I have confidence that you're going to do great in it. And you have potential. You absolutely have potential no matter what you set your mind to. Never doubt your worth and just like you're going to have hard days ahead of you. I mean, especially these days, there are going to be hard days ahead, but I know you can push through them. You absolutely can. I'm not just saying that. There's been times where I've had hard days, but like there are people out there who care about you. Like regardless of what you think in any given moment, there is someone there that cares. And again, just please never doubt that. And you're not alone in whatever you're suffering through or going through at any given time. Like regardless of how alone you think you are, there is someone out there who can sympathize and offer some words of sympathy. But yeah, just like seriously, just have a great life, whatever you do. And yeah, just, I guess that's pretty much it. So, I guess for the final time, I'm Mike. I'm oh my god, I almost got my name wrong. But I'm Mike the Human 113, and I will see you later.